just a second to talk about this match, talk about their strategy and what their plan was going forward and how they plan to go forward in the match. Nick, if you want to let everyone know about all the things as far as contacting us
Yeah,
and staying in touch with us while I get that lined up.
absolutely. So big thanks to DOS Keyboard for sponsoring us and providing the keyboards for the winners and some other cool swag for notable achievers within the tournament. If you enjoyed what you saw tonight, please tweet at us. Tweet at SC2CTL, at Gallegation, at WingNutSC. We'd love to hear your feedback. We'd like to hear what you liked, what you didn't like, how you'd move forward in improving it, and just any general comments that you have. We'd appreciate your feedback. We appreciate you watching with us tonight. So thanks for joining us.
Absolutely,
Uh,
can't stress enough the
yeah,
feedback. I hammer on that a lot. We really, this is a community team league, so we're really reaching out to you as a community of supporters that make this happen, that make this visible. We want to know what you think, whether you loved it, you hated it, and what we can continue to do well or what we can fix to do better to make this more entertaining, more enjoyable for everyone out there, and that would be awesome.
absolutely.
So it looks like Mr. Llama Alex is ready from Starcraft2Strategy. I'm just going to call him up here so that we can chat with him.
How's it going?
Hello. Good
Mr.
evening.
Llama, thanks for joining
Good
us.
evening. Of course. Always a pleasure.
So we meet again,
Yep.
only by pure fate. You guys had a great match here between you and Complexity Academy. Having competed very strong so far in this league so far. I mean, what was your? Did you have a strategy going into this one that was different from any other match?
Oh, for sure. So going into the other two, the first clan we played was against Overdosed, and then we played against Z's in the second clan that we had. And so going into those, I felt strong, confident in my players. I was putting them out, but I was still putting out, probably like my mid to high level players. I hadn't thrown any GMs out yet in either of those because I felt, I wanted to get those guys some play time. And then I felt that they were, going to be strong enough and able to take those. And so we were able to win 5-2 and 5-3 in both of those clan wars. So I felt pretty strong and I wasn't too worried about the points. And then I kind of came into this one. I was like, oh, we're down 4 points going in. And I know Complexity Academy is going to be a good team. So we did our research and kind of played it out based on that. The first game we threw out Rising Storm. I knew we had kind of that fun 14-14 build right there, and it just kind of happens that who do you play? A Giant Smurf didn't scout, which really just kind of was the icing on the cake right there. It made that one a pretty simple win. The second game, Rising Storm's ZVP was a little bit off. And I think having to play on Akalon Waste also is, I don't want to say given, but it's one of those strong Protoss win maps right there. Definitely a tough one to take. So I was almost okay that was getting out of the map pool right there. That was kind of one that we were somewhat getting ready to sacrifice almost. I threw in Coyote because Coyote had a build that I thought would have been good to counter what Pooh was doing. But Pooh kind of changed it up a little bit, and he forced Coyote into a weird position, and so Coyote was kind of caught between strategies that whole game, as I'm sure you saw.
Mhm.
And it really just kind of made it tough for him, unfortunately. So that put us down 1-2, which, I wasn't too crazy about. I was really thinking we'd be up 2-1 at that point.
No one's ever crazy about being down.
I mean, yeah, that's true. Nobody's ever too excited about it. But I knew Kavika has a great PVC win rate.
I mean, and we can see
PvP.
why. I mean, can
Yeah.
you talk to us a little bit specifically about this mind gamery that's...
So he is an extremely underrated player for sure, I would say. As somebody in the chat had said before, he is underrated. He is a great player, and it's not just in the sense of like, oh, he's got amazing micro with this or he just does this, but he just has probably the best game sense that I've ever seen in a player. He's just somebody who can sit there, especially in ZVP, where he just knows the game. He knows every timing for everything. He is a random grandmaster player, so he can understand the timings from every race, and so he just knows how to exploit those so perfectly.
There's
And when you
definitely one
watch
thing
it,
we
yep,
saw is those timings were just
yeah, perfect.
immaculate.
Yep.
Yep,
Yeah, I
spot
mean,
on
he
the whole
just
time.
knows. He just
And
knows
he knew
exactly.
where to scout at every piece of
Yep.
information. He knew when to go in, when to see the right tech.
Oh yeah.
He even when he couldn't necessarily see something, he could put down a spore crawler just anticipating some kind of air coming in or some DTs or something like that.
Yep.
He just knew what was happening.
Yeah, he just has that perfect sense. He knows every reaction to his builds. He knows every. I mean, it's just like if you listen to him commentate, which you can, twitch.tv/imba coaching, or at /SC2Strategy. But, and that's kind of a plug, but at the same time, like if you honestly just go and listen to him commentate, like during practice, sometimes I'll have him commentate what he's doing. It is just you're just sitting there and you're like, wow. And he's just like, yeah. And so I see this going on, and here is my whole thought process, and he'll just like spill it out for you, and you're just like, oh, okay, that makes a ton of sense. And he just has that the whole way through. So like when you watch the games, I mean, it's really just great because you sit there and he makes it look so easy, right? It's just like,
Hmm.
oh yeah, I've made a giant roach army like that and tried to push over and I die, or he just, but he knows he knows exactly when he can and when he should drone, and he does it really well. So
But one of the interesting things that we saw in those games from him was that he'd have this giant roach army and just get decimated by Immortal Stalker, just losing roaches after roaches after roaches, huge kill rates on Immortals, and yet he
yep,
wins the game. He
yep,
was able to still overwhelm them with the number of roaches and the amount of DPS. I mean, it reminds me of life playing Zerglings versus Hellions. Just like
uh-huh.
countering the direct counter with the
Yep,
weaker unit.
yeah. And I think that just kind of tells to his macro right there and the importance of macro. And you see he takes decently fast bases as well. He's not a player who's like stuck on that third base, and if that third base dies, the game's over for him. Like he has another base that he can just move his drones to.
Well, that's what someone
Um,
was saying in chat about it being cheesy. Is it obviously it didn't seem cheesy at all to us because it didn't seem like an all in. I'm just gonna be
yep,
goofy. It was a clear transition point, as you
yep,
said, which you can only understand if you have timings as tight as he understands them. That there's an expansion directly behind that. You use that to delay the Protoss expansion and then expand again behind that while they're all trying to figure out how to bring their build back together to where it needs to be.
exactly. Yeah,
It was really awesome, entertaining to watch.
because with that one game, the one on Planet S, which I think was like that really close one, the kind of scary one. I was sitting there and I was just like sweating up a storm, and I talked to him after, and he was like, "Yeah, I was just trying to trade units as much as I could," and I was like, "Yeah, but your supplies are getting so close." He was like, "Oh, I wasn't worried about it. I had that other base up, and as long as I kept the Protoss army down, he then couldn't continue his push forward beyond that." And it was fine. And he was exactly right. I mean, the Protoss had to back off there, and that allowed him to just find a place to engage later and win. So,
Yeah, really awesome. It was entertaining. Obviously, it was all PVZ tonight. You guys throwing out all
yeah,
Protoss and
yeah,
Complexity
yeah.
throwing
We
out.
threw all
Or, I'm
Zergs,
sorry,
and
you
they
guys
threw all
throwing out all
Protoss.
Zergs
Yep.
and Complexity throwing out all
It's
Protoss.
funny how it worked out like that.
Would your strategy have been different if, a different race had come out?
Yeah, probably. So I had a guy who's a pretty good PvP player, and I definitely would. I was about to throw him out, and then I threw Kavik out. I was 50-50 on that for sure. And it ended up working out well, so I'm not upset about it. But yeah, had there been, a Terran that had gone out or a Zerg that had gone out, I have various players that each, every player has their best and their worst. So I think it definitely would have switched up who went out, but they just kept throwing Protoss, and I have a couple Zerg players who are pretty good ZVP, so I was like, I'll just keep throwing these guys, and we'll see how it kind of battles out that way.
Absolutely, it was really awesome to watch. I just pulled up the standings now on screen so we can see that. It looks like you guys are in looks like 5th place. All the top teams are fairly close. Complexity Academy being only 5 points behind you guys. With pool stage 2 being released, how do you feel about your matches coming up?
I feel pretty strong. So we need to get either 1 or 2 to get that bye in the playoffs. If 1, of course, gets the great spot, and 2 gets the good spot, or whatever it is. But either one of those will get us that bye. The fact that we finished first in Group 1 means we're automatically in the playoffs regardless. So right now, Group 2 is all just gravy for us. That being said, I feel good with our group right here. Grav, I think, is going to be the toughest matchup. I know a few of their players, and they've got some decent players on their team, so that'll be a fight. The other two teams are also, I mean, they're good teams, but I feel a little bit more comfortable with them.
It looks like, so given the matchups that you've seen in here, do you expect to be able to move up in the rankings? It looks like Complexity has got a couple higher ranked teams to play with SCAB and Bubble.
Yeah, so Bubble's definitely a decent team. SCAB, not bad. That first group is really, though, the group of death. I mean, I'm just so happy that we managed to escape that group right
It looks
there.
like you escaped that exactly by being in 5th place too.
Yeah, no, it's a really nice escape point. So I'm pretty happy there. I think if we were in that, we would have. It would have been a fight. I mean, we would be fighting for probably second in that group, I think. 2, 3. But yeah, I feel good about our group. I think Complexity, their group will be. They'll have to fight as well, but I don't think, or I think they could, get 1 or 2 in their group as well, and get one of those playoff spots. So,
Great.
I think we'll see them again.
So last question going forward, what team do you think is going to be your biggest challenge? Not necessarily in your pools, but going forward. We've seen a lot of play here through the first round of pools. Is anyone afraid of anyone?
YMCMB, scary team, really good team, and SCA will also. I think SCA and YMCMB would be the two tough teams that really kind of in the end there. I think if we get to finals, or if we have to play them before finals, that would be who we have to beat. Hopefully we don't have to play both of them. Hopefully they meet up somewhere else and knock each other out, or knock one of the other out. But yeah, so I think that would be one of the top teams right there.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining us, Nick. Did you have any further questions for Mr. Llama?
I'm excited to see future games. You're obviously in the tournament for a while, so I'm excited to see what other aces up your sleeve you've got planned for us. It seems like Kavika was one of those, and probably going to remain one as you move forward. So we're looking forward to watching you, and good luck to your team.
Thank you very much.
Do you have any shout outs you want to give?
Shout out to my team, of course, my players there, Kavika, Coyote, Rising Storm, the 3 who played in that game. And then just a shout to our Twitch right there. We do 7 days free coaching and or commentary.
I saw about an hour before we went live that Zombie Grub was doing some free coaching on there as well.
Yep. So feel free to follow there, hang out, come visit us. It's a pretty chill, small place, but if you need coaching or anything, you just come in, post in the chat, hey, coach me, and somebody will coach you. So.
It's awesome that you guys
That's
are doing
really
that
cool.
for the community. It's been awesome to cast you guys again. Keep making those matches interesting so we can see you back.
We try.
All right.
Thank you very much, guys.
Thanks a lot.
Bye.
I also want to give a huge shout out to Complexity Academy. We were talking up Starcraft2Strategy a lot there, but they really played very, very well.
Turn your camera back on there, Mr.
Yep,
Gavin.
working on it. They played just incredibly well. Pooh was just a force to be reckoned with. The micro in those games was just phenomenal. So huge shout out to them. Definitely some titans of the leagues that we're seeing play in this community team league. So we're really privileged to be able to watch them and privileged to be able to cast them ourselves.
Yeah, and definitely a shout out to Pooh and also Mr. Llama. Love that the captains are so accepting of our reaching out to contact them to try and get this information. We realize it's sort of last minute as we pick our matches a day or so before we're going to be casting them. So big shout out to the captains of the teams, including Pooh from Complexity Academy and Mr. Llama from Starcraft2Strategy for providing us with the information so that we can give that out, because we really want to, like we said, involve the community in this as much as possible. So with that, that's going to wrap up our cast for today.
We do have one more secret word to give out.
That's right. Let us not forget.
Yes. We don't
Should
want
I give
you
it
to
out?
Why don't you give it out? We don't want to have people miss out on their opportunity to win some Dragon's Maze.
Yeah, absolutely. So take your browser. I'm gonna say this, and Troy is gonna punch me in the face. Any browser except Chrome. Actually, any browser will work. Go to SC2CTL.com/code, and your second code of the day to win that fancy, shiny Dragon's Maze pack. This isn't Dragon's Maze, but it's cool. The second code is going to be all one word, all lowercase, space giraffe. Make sure you spell it correctly, space giraffe. As we said before, our code names are themed from a good friend of ours who enjoys StarCraft in a very different way from anyone else, has his own unit names for all the units. Space Giraffe is going to be synonymous with the Colossus. But be sure to enter that at sc2ctl.com/code. That is Space Giraffe, one word, all lowercase, to have your chance to win the Dragon Maze booster pack from Magic the Gathering.
And if you missed it earlier, the first code of the night was Space Farmer.
All one word, all lowercase again. Not just a code entering challenge, but a spelling competition too. Absolutely. Don't go on Jeopardy and spell it wrong because they'll kick you out.
Yeah, I think we both went to go put it in chat, and then we were like, oh, I don't know if we know how to spell that.
So, wrapping up tonight's broadcast, we appreciate you joining us. We realized viewership was a little lower tonight because WCS America was going on. Definitely some awesome stuff to be seen there, but remember to come join us too. If you can't catch us live, remember the VODs we posted the day after the broadcast at youtube.com/wingnutstarcraft, which is right up in that corner there, so be sure to remember that. Check the VODs out, good stuff. Also, be sure to follow at Das Keyboard on Twitter, as they're awesome by sponsoring this community team league.
They make cool keyboards as well.
They do. We are super gracious for their contribution to this. Also, give a big follow to Wingnut SC and at Galligation. We'll keep you posted about what matches we'll be casting. Unfortunately, we can't announce to you what match we'll be casting on Thursday, but we will be deciding it tomorrow morning. So be sure to give that a follow, and we will let you know. It will be exciting, I promise. Thursday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time.
And don't forget to check out our cohorts. The other casting team, they'll be casting tomorrow. I don't know exactly what teams they're going to be casting, though.
I do.
All right.
Let me tell you. It is NRG versus Bubble.
All right. So we just heard a little bit about Bubble just a few moments ago when we were talking to Mr. Llama, so that could be some interesting games right there.
Absolutely.
Sure, check it out.
Thanks for joining us, everybody, and we hope you join us on Thursday and the other cast team tomorrow. Have a great evening.
I'm Galligation.
And I'm Wingnut.
Signing out.
See ya.